Oh, Miss Maggie. Her photos have someplace special to be. Hi, this is Kim with Mom's Creative Moments. Welcome back to my channel. Today, I am doing the project recipe for Ruffin It. Ruffin It is the newest in our paper collections for our furry friends, specifically our dog furry friends. And I am so excited to be able to do this one for you. It's a really cute project recipe, so even if you don't have any furry friends, you certainly could do this project recipe with any collection. So I hope that you will follow along and watch how this comes together. This is super cute, and I have modified it just a little bit to personalize it for me. So it is different than the original that was created by our CM contributors. So I hope that this will give you some good ideas for things you can do with your own. Let's check out my workspace and we'll get started. All right, so this is my desktop for today, and I just wanted to share with you this super cute collection that came out just recently called Ruffin It. And if you're confused as to why I'm making such a big deal about this one, other than the fact that it actually does have a project recipe, you might not be aware that we added a little furry friend to our family last year at about Christmas time. And we actually just celebrated her first birthday. So if you ever hear me referring to Maggie or talking to Maggie, Maggie is our little mini golden doodle, and she is super, super cute. And I'm sure my husband will be happy to share some photos with you in the video so you can see what she currently looks like. She's a super, super cute little young lady, and she's a lot of fun. And so we really enjoy her. And she does, she's not perfect. She chews things up every now and then, and we have to keep reminding ourselves to keep some things out of reach and that kind of stuff. But for the most part, she's doing great, and we're super excited about her. So I, of course, need lots more puppy dog layouts, and so I wanted to share this with you. Let's go through just really quickly the products that come along with, or that are a part of the collection that makes up Ruffin It. My dog thinks I'm cool. I think it's just like the best because, yeah, if you have a dog or even a cat, cats are a little bit more subdued, I think, in their thinking that we're cool, but dogs really are awesome. Home is where the dog is, part of the family. My kids have paws. This one I had to show you because this has an embellishment that looks just like this shape. And honestly, when I first saw the shape, there are words written in here on the shape, and I couldn't figure out what it was. It was dark brown, and it looked strange. Until I saw this, it finally clicked. Oh, that's a silhouette of a puppy dog. Here's his ear, here's his nose. You may think that I'm just the wackiest person in the world for not recognizing that at first, but I just wanted to point that out. If there's anybody out there like me, who maybe I'm just too tired or something, but I just did not recognize it at first. Now I will always know this is the shape. That's a cute little puppy dog head. Anyway, I love my dog. Love you in lots of rainbows. You, me, and the dog. These are the days. Along with half mats. Dog people are my kind of people. Forever in our hearts. And then you get this one that you can also split into two different journal boxes, or use the back, or just use the circle in the middle, or use both. So just kind of cool. Those are the cool mats that you can get that match this collection. Here are the embellishments, which I want to show you before I jostle them too much and they end up spread out all over everywhere. These are super cute, and many of them are shiny. Can you see the shine on that fire hydrant? So you could journal on the fire hydrant, but this space that goes, this line that goes around and highlights it like a tag, is shiny, which is super cool. See, you can see that on the video. Not all of the tags are shiny, like these paws are not shiny, but these paws are shiny. So you get kind of a nice variety. Some things that have shine, some things that don't. So that's kind of cool. They're all going to be shiny underneath a page protector, so it's okay. But I think it sort of adds a little bit of some panache or something like that to highlight and make the embellishments shine. All right, so I'm going to just set those to the side, and then I thought I would share with you the stickers too, because the stickers are just super cute. Look at these. These are the 12-inch border stickers with the pull toys and the bones and the grass and the paw prints. The paw prints are actually individual, and there are hearts at the end. But you could use the paw prints in any way that you would like. There's sets of 4 in different colors, so that's kind of cool. And I love the fact that the pad on the paw is an upside down heart too, which is kind of cool. All right, so there's that for the borders, and then you've got licks of love. My dog thinks I'm cool. Love this life. Always so much fur. On a walk. Rescued. Pampered pooch. Possum. Adopted. Professional bigger. Dog life is the best life. Yep. And look at all these cute stickers of dogs. Super cute. Even if this doesn't represent what your dog looks like, they're still super, super cute. Along with their rough woof little captions. So anyway, those are the cute stickers. The papers are equally as cute, and we're going to use some of them today. To do this project recipe, I have pulled 4 pieces of paper, and we're going to need some cardstock as well, but I didn't pull any cardstock just yet because I want to kind of see what color I want to use. So we're going to kind of hold off on that for just a minute, but I will decide it'll probably be this color, this darker kind of reddish color, which is, let me see which color that is, which red that is. It's a true red, so they recommend the regular true red, not the cranberry. So we'll see, but that I think is probably going to be the one I lean towards because I like red anyway, and so does my husband. This is the cute punch that goes with this collection, and I just think it's super, super cute, and it's a little smaller than our typical border punch that comes this way. It is they probably made it this way so that the love could be nice and wide, because it's a full 2-inch wide word, but look, it's super narrow. It's only about 3/4 of an inch, maybe slightly more or less than 3/4 of an inch high. So that means that we can use this for a narrow border and it'll work really well. So guess what I'm going to do today? I'm going to try it. Let's try it, shall we? Okay, we're going to use these 2 papers with the hearts on them. They're super cute with all the woofs and the arfs and the yaps and whatever on the back. But we're going to use this side as our base paper. And I'm going to set it up here just for now to get it out of the way. We're going to go ahead and cut some pieces. So we're going to flip over here to the cutting guide of our project recipe. And we're going to cut these 2 pieces into the appropriate sizes and shapes. I'm going to start off with this one. This one has a lot of toys and stuff on it. And we're going to use this one with the stripe on the back. for these papers. I'm just going to check really quick, but I think these are used sideways. Yeah, so they're going to be sideways. So we want to make sure that our lines are going the direction that we want them to go in. And I want them to eventually be horizontal like this. So I'm going to cut them vertically. It'll all make sense in a minute. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and place this in here like this. We're going to cut this at 5 inches, and then we're going to separate them in at the 6-inch mark. So we're going to cut a 5 by 12 piece. Then we're going to turn this and we're going to cut it at 6 inches. Okay, so I'm going to lean this against the top bumper of my trimmer, and I'm going to cut that at 6 inches. Okay, so we've got those two, and those are going to be blue. And then we're going to cut another one at 5 inches. And we're going to turn that, and we're going to cut it at 6.5. So for that, I'm going to move my arm out so that I can see clearly where the 6.5-inch line is. Just like that. And there is my 6.5. Okay, then we're going to use this wider piece to cut a circle. But first we're going to cut another strip at 1.5 inches. So I'm going to line this up at 1.5. And typically I will do 1.5 on the far side of my trimmer, but for kicks and giggles, we're going to use the left side. This is an extra piece, so we'll set that off to the side. And we're going to cut this at 6 inches. So I'm just going to use my little teeter tab here at the top to see where the 6-inch mark is. I'm going to cut that there. And then this next one here is at 4.5 inches. So we're going to go ahead and move this out to 4.5 inches and trim it there. Okay. This is then another extra piece that'll go over that way. These two are going to be cut into flags, so I'm just going to leave them there and remind myself that I need to cut those some more. This one's going to become a circle, which we'll do in a minute, but for now, let's go on to designer paper number 2, and we're going to go ahead and cut this into 2 3/4-inch strips. Now, these 3/4-inch strips are the 2 bottom pieces that go across here. And I want to turn those into punched strips. So just to be on the safe side, since we have plenty of paper here that we're not using, I'm going to cut these in 1-inch strips so that I can use them with my punch and not have an issue. Okay, so I'm going to do 1-inch strips instead of 3/4-inch strips because I want to punch them. If I didn't want to punch them, then I would do 3/4 and call it good. Okay, so there we go. There's those first 2 strips. Then the next 2 are meant to be 3/8 of an inch. And because I want to go ahead and have one of these knots be part of that, I'm going to just adjust this just ever so slightly. Okay, I'm going to just trim 1/8 of an inch off of this paper so that I can cut my 3/8 of an inch and get most of those knots. In fact, I'm going to go 1 mark beyond 3/8 of an inch. So we're actually going to 2, 4, 6, 7/16 of an inch instead of 3/8 of an inch, so that I can have all of that knot be part of my border that's going to go across the top there. All right, so I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to trim off just about 1/8 of an inch here so that I can have the 7/16 be mostly this knot. Ta-da! Okay, there we go. So that's our 2 3/8 of an inch pieces that are actually 7/16. So one notch beyond 3/8 of an inch. And then I'm going to cut a piece that is 1.5 inches. So we're going to move this over to 1.5 inches. And from 1.5 inches, we're going to turn that and cut at 5.5 inches, which is the very edge of my trimmer. And then also at 4.5 inches, which is right there. And this is extra. Okay, so those are also going to be flags. And then we need our cardstock. So I'm going to grab some red cardstock. And wouldn't you know, I need to, well, that's not red, that's bright coral. That's not going to help you. Okay, hang on a second here. Something got placed in the wrong bin. That never happens. Entry red. I have entry red. Is that going to work? Yeah, that'll be fine. That will be fine. Looks like I need to get some more of my regular red cardstock. Who knew? Holidays are almost here, so we'll be using plenty of it. I need to go ahead and get some more, especially with December days. So we need to make sure we have that on hand. I can hardly wait to see the holiday paper collection and see what colors they are using in that, because I haven't seen it yet. So that will be super exciting. That should be coming out soon. Hopefully soon, because I want to start making my designs for December days. Okay, so we're going to cut the cardstock into these 3 mats, and we want 4.5 inches. We're going to cut a strip at 4.5 by 12. And then we're going to cut another strip at 4.5 inches. All right, that's going to go over here and be extra. We're going to turn one of them and we're going to cut it into a 4.5 inch square. Then the rest of that is going over there. And we're going to take the other one. We're going to cut a 4.5 inch square. So we have 2 of those. And we're going to cut another piece that is 6.5 inches. So again, with the arm going out, and we're going to cut this at 6.5. 6.5. Just like that. All right. So now we should have most of our pieces, except we need to do the circle and we need to make our flags finish off our flags. So let's go ahead and do the circle. Now the instructions on here say cut a 5-inch circle, then cut it in half and flip it over. So we're cutting it as though we're cutting it on this side. Then we're going to flip it over and use the fun side. We're going to use the outside of the medium circle. So let me grab my medium circle. Here it is. And we're going to use the red blade. So grab the red blade. And we're just going to go around the outside of this circle. I'm going to center it on here the best I can. And we're going to put the 2 little posts in the groove. And then move our blade all the way around to make a cool 5-inch circle. Okay, we've still got a little bit on this we could still use, so I'm going to set it over here off to the side. And go ahead and put my blade away. And my circle back. All right, I need my trimmer back out real quick so that I can cut this in half. Now, if you're not already familiar with the CM circle cutter, one cool, very cool thing about it is you can cut a circle in half super, super easy. You simply take the circle and balance it on the 2 shoulder pivots right down here at the bottom or at the top. And when you do that, it will perfectly center your circle no matter what size it is. And then you just cut it and you have half a circle. Cool, huh? All right. Super easy. I wish all things in life were just that easy, right? Okay, now we're going to go ahead and make these flags that we were talking about. Okay, so these 4 pieces that we cut need to be made into flags. And if you don't have the flag punch, then the next best thing is just to do it all by yourself. Get your scissors and fold the narrow end of the flag so the points touch each other. Then you're going to start cutting at that point and cut in. And you're going to want to make sure that the amount you're cutting in is roughly the same for all of them. For mine, I'm cutting in about a 1/2 inch, just about a 1/2 inch. All right, so you just take and you fold those corners together. Try not to crease it. You don't need to crease the center of the paper. You just need to cut that wedge out. And by starting from the corner, then your where you stop cutting is the center. Like magic. All right. So we have our flags now. We have our circle, half circles. Let's go ahead and get this assembled, okay? I'm gonna put my scissors back up there. Oh, you know what we need to do? I'm sorry, I'm jumping the gun as usual. We're gonna take these 2 strips, the ones that were 3/4 of an inch that we made 1 inch, and we're going to punch our love in it. Okay, so first thing we're going to do is determine where to start. And let me show you a cool trick for that. I don't always do it this way because sometimes it's just faster to do it another way. But if you go ahead and attach a piece of a Post-it note so that it is straight with the edge of your strip. Then you know right where to start, and you can set your piece of paper in and line it up with that same spot. Now, this is a 1-inch piece, and our border is punching way down here. It will cover it, but I want it to be in the center. So I'm going to move this so that I'm punching in the center of my paper. Okay, so I'm going to line it up with the line here, and I'm going to place this as centered as I can make it based on where that ledge is and where this edge is. Okay, so lining it up here so I know where I'm starting, and centering it up here and making it as level as possible. And the reason why you want to take pains to do this at the very beginning is so that it's not crooked when you punch it. Okay, so the other thing we want to do, as I'm just thinking about this, is I want to think about, do I want this to be in green or do I want this to be in gold? And I think I want to do it in green so that, well, I don't know. They've also used a border sticker halfway across here. So we could do it in yellow and then use one of the cute border stickers. Let's think this through before we get too far ahead of ourselves. I'm going to pull those border stickers out and look at them again. All right, so they've used the grass and the bones as the cute border stickers that they cut in half and added to the bottom there. If I'm going to punch this from the gold so that it matches the piece going across the top, then what would I want on top of it? Do I want grass on top? Do I want the bones? Do I want the play toys? We're going to have the play toys in the circle. It might be kind of cool to have them go across the bottom and be part of the grass. Okay, I think I am going to punch. I'm going to punch on the gold. And the reason it's important is because if you needed to flip it over, you will want to flip it over to punch it. So your LOVE is going the right way. Otherwise, it would be upside down, or you would just be stuck using the paper the way that you initiated the punch. All right, so let's go ahead and we'll do yellow. And then we're going to bring it over and we're going to line it up. And this is important, so we want to take a minute, make sure it's lined up nice and level, and we are in the same spot over here. And if you have a hard time seeing where this is centered over here, maybe just go ahead and grab a fine Sharpie marker and make yourself a little black dot or something that you can line your paper up. And then we're just going to keep on keeping on, going across our strip. Or you could even just punch it maybe twice or 3 times. I've punched it 3 times. You can punch it a total of 5 times. I think maybe I'm just going to punch it 3 times. We'll do 3 times on that side. And then we'll do 3 times on the other side. How's that? How's that for fancy dancy? And just because, I'm going to go the opposite way through the punch, because it'll make it really easy, or much easier to line it up if I'm going the other way. Okay, so we're going to do 3 on each side. Now we can go ahead and assemble our funness. Okay, and you could save these and use these somewhere else if you have the patience to build that paw print with those teeny bitty little pieces. That would be super cute. Use on a card or something like that. Would be really, really cute. All right, but I'm not going to worry about that today. So we are going to build the, let's start with the left side of our layout. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and grab some repositionable adhesive. I've got my little one here handy. I'm just going to go ahead and, whoop, and of course I am, as soon as I say it's handy, I have to replace the tape runner. Where it is. Nope, all the ones I have here are not repositionable. Okay, let me see. I think my big one is has still got what it needs up here. Give me a second. Let me get it out. Here we go. Okay, so we're going to put our punched border piece across the bottom. I'm going to line that up in this corner. Be easier to do. And if your background isn't as bright as you want it, what you could do is go ahead and back it with something like this. So that piece is going to be almost as wide as my border, but I could still set it in there. And we'll add another little bit onto it. Or maybe we could just add this one in the middle right here. And trim off the end. Let's see how that would be. I'll do like that. All right. And then this piece is going to go across the top. like that. Then we're going to take one of our blue pieces. Let me make sure I have the right one. A and B. C is bigger, so C is going to go on the next page over. So we're going to do this piece, and it's going to go, oh, you know what? That doesn't go right on the edge. I'm leading you astray, as usual. All right, so we're going to, I'm going to just lift this guy up. Good thing I'm using repositionable adhesive, huh? Okay, so we're going to lift this up, and we're going to try that again. We're going to place this about 1/8 of an inch from the edge. Which is hard to see with it being on top of the other page. So give me just a second and I will move that. Okay, so just like that. I'm going to go back and do just that much with the other sheet. Let me see if this piece is going to be enough. Oh, it's just a little short. Is it really super short? Lining it up just perfect. I think that works. I'm gonna just rub off the adhesive that's showing through. We didn't have that issue with the other one because it my adhesive was on the back, not on the front. Okay. And then again, this is going to go right down on the end. And now that I look at it, they've got this bottom piece raised up also. So we're going to raise this up about 1/8 of an inch from the bottom. Which means I'll need to fix the other side. These details, I should pay closer attention. Okay. We figured it out now. All right, and then again, these guys are going to go about 1/8 of an inch from the top. Okay. Let me fix this side. Then we'll be in business, I hope. I won't have to redo this one a third time. All right. 1/8 of an inch from the bottom. There we go. Okay. So now this is our left-hand side, and we've already got our sticky on this one. So let's go ahead and get this put on. It's going to be roughly 1/4 of an inch down from this border that we've got up here. So think twice as much as you've got at the top is what you want in between those two. Okay, so that's going to go there. Then we're going to do one of our half circles. I'm going to do this one. And it's going to go right here on the end, just sort of centered. So it doesn't go edge to edge with that, with the blue piece, but it goes pretty close. Okay. So there's that. Then we're going to do one long ribbon and one short ribbon. So let's see which ones. The shorter of the two. So the shorter of the two and the not green of the two. So those are going to go there. Those are going to go next to it. Next to it. So did that make sense? This one is the shorter of the two long ones. And this one is the alternating paper from the other. So we're going to turn this one around and make it blue. Yeah, we're going to turn this one around and make it blue. And we're going to make this one green. And these are going to be mounted so that the ends are in the same place and the notch on the blue flag is at the top edge of the green flag. Okay, so just like that. Okay, and then this is going behind our circle. So we're going to pop this up just a little bit. Okay, so that we can take these and put them underneath. And we're going to make them straight and make the flag be within about 1/4 of an inch of that center. So it helps that I chose a pattern that is kind of able to give me a line. See how the hearts line up? So then I can line my flags up with them and all is well. All right, so then I'm going to take the other smaller mat that we made. And we're going to place this even with the center edge. And they've got it about 1/4 of an inch from the top of the border at the bottom. But because we made our border at the bottom taller or wider, mine only has about 1/8 of an inch. So these corners meet, and on their sample, they don't quite. There's about 1/4 of an inch in between. Okay, but because of increasing the size of this and slightly increasing the size of this, mine are actually touching, which is okay. It's not that big a deal, right? Then we're going to take one of our red mats, and this is going to go and be centered from top to bottom and slightly more to the left so that we can put a 4x6 photo here and have it come off the mat this way. Okay, so we've got that. And then in addition to that, we're going to add our stickers. So which sticker were we going to use? They've used the green one. I think we're going to use the green one too, but I'm going to change the secondary sticker. So we are going to use this one. It's going to line up with the top of my, okay, so you know what I'm going to do? Let's wait. We're going to do the stickers together. So I'm just going to stick that back over there. Let's move to the right-hand side of the layout, and we'll come back to that in just a minute, okay? So first I'm going to take my last blue mat, and I'm going to go ahead and place this one about the same distance down, which was roughly 1/4 of an inch from that border. I'm going to make it so that I can see those hearts and just barely see those hearts. And that center edge is going to be right on the edge right here. Okay, so there is that. Then we have another mat that's going to go vertically, and a third mat that's going to go down here in the corner. Okay, so this one is going to be roughly 1/2 inch from the top and centered from right to left. So we're just going to find what looks like the middle here, and that's where that one's going to go. Another 4x6 photo can go this way, as you can see in the sample over here. And then we're going to place this one down this way. Now, I'm going to go about 1/4 of an inch below where this blue mat ends, and that's where I'm going to place that red mat. Looks like it should be the same height as the other one. So let's, just for fun, let's go ahead and see if it's at the same height as the other one. Almost. So maybe I'll just lower it just a little so that it's more in line with the other side of the layout. And all that's going to do is, let me make sure that that's right. Pretty darn close. I'm going to go with it. Okay, so we're going to go with that. Then we have these, our circle and our flags that are going to go on here as well. So let's go ahead and get those going. I'm going to wait to put that on until I have my flags together. So we're going to do the same thing we did before. We're going to do our blue with our green on top. And the green is going to be matching so that this point is at the top of the blue and these edges are the same. Okay. All right. And this, this goes underneath here. Well, I'm doing this all out of order. And I'm sure if I had followed the directions, it probably would have kept me from being so discombobulated, but that's okay. That's part of the fun of figuring it out, right? Okay, we're going to do like that. We're going to put these underneath so that they are tucked nice and neat. Let's see, they go up about, we're going to go up just above those hearts, and then we're going to go out to roughly 1/4 of an inch from center. And call that good. Put that down. All right. Now let's do those border stickers. I'm going to stick that up there for right now. Okay, so let's lay this out. Here we go. That's where we stand. And I'm going to grab that grass border sticker again. I'm going to go ahead and cut it in half. So I'm just going to sort of let it hover over my mat here so that I can find where the 6-inch mark is, right there. And I'm going to put the side that I cut up against the cut edge, the outside edge of my border. But before I do that, so that one's going to go on this side, this one's going to go on this side of my layout. I'm going to go ahead and add some foam squares, because that way I can slide a photo underneath it and not worry about it sticking. Okay, so we've got those. I might need a little bit more, so we'll add another one right there. Okay, and then let me do the same thing on this side. I'm using these sort of not the tiniest ones, but these are about 1/2 inch or so, maybe 3/8 of an inch, more like. Okay, now I want to dust these so that my sticker is not going to get pressed down and stuck to my photo, but I don't want to dust the whole thing because I want some of it to stick. So what should we do? I'll tell you. I'm going to use one of these pieces. Now this is a piece of the backing from a sticker sheet, and I'm going to take that and I'm just going to place it over the top of, I flipped it over and I'm placing it over the top of the bottom of the sticker. Okay, then I can take my powder, my sticker powder, and I can go ahead and de-stickify. What's the right term? Ladies, help. Okay, I can stick that on there and make that not sticky anymore. Okay, so now I have a line of part that's sticky and a line of part that's not sticky. And I'm going to place that on here and hope that my sticker will stick down, even with those foam squares. Let's see. And if it doesn't work, I can always get another sticker because I have another 12-inch sticker of this grass. But I think that's going to work. So I'm going to do the same thing again. Go ahead and line up my sticker paper on the base of that sticker. And I'm just going to cover that end also. And we're going to go ahead and de-stick. We're going to powder the rest of it so it's not going to stick down. All right. And this one we're going to line up with the top of the punched border. like so. Okay, just stick that down. Now, if yours is not sticking and mine is looking like it really wants to pop up, it's really trying hard to stick. So let me show you what we're going to do next. We're going to take this sticker of all the cool play toys, and we're going to cut this in half. So I just have to find the halfway mark. Here we go. Okay, and then this is going to go down on top of the grass, and it will help to anchor that sticker better, the grass sticker. Okay, because that one is definitely stuck to both the sticker and the paper. All right. Cute. Okay. Now, where do we stand? We need some embellishments. So let's find our embellishments that I put over here. Oh, that's extra. Not our embellishments. There's our foam squares. Here they are. I found them. We can use these, or we can use our sticker pack. And I think I lost one because there's a big old void. Here it is. Cute little heart tag. So we can use that. We could use a excuse me. We could use a journal box. We could use our cute sticker sheets and add something super cute. Let's see. I think I'm going to go with this one. I love my dog. And let's see. This one looks a lot like Maggie. A lot like her. Should we use that one? We need an embellishment somewhere. They've got an embellishment here on top of this. They've got one right here on top of this, and one up here in this corner on top of the photo that they've got going this way, which of course I don't have just yet. So let's see what I can come up with that will work in those spots. We could go ahead and add this cute little pup behind the grass here. And add an I love my dog. Already got a cute little heart on that embellishment, so maybe that's enough because we've got kind of all of that going on down there. Let's see, what could we put on this side and up there? I would put always so much fur, except that She doesn't shed. Ah, we love her for that. Let's see. We could do Licks of Love. Let's do Licks of Love. And we'll do Pampered Pooch. Maybe Pampered Pooch. So maybe Licks of Love there and Pampered Pooch up here. Let's see. Gonna anchor it with a tag. And add a cute paw print. Put that right there. I was kind of bad about covering up this cute paper, but I think it'll be okay. I think we won't be covering too much of it up. That'll be cute. And then you've got Pampered Pooch. And we'll add some more toys around him, around that. We'll add this little guy for treats. And a ball. Do you know I bought, so Maggie has this thing about chewing. Of course, she's only one, you know, but she loves her balls. She loves to chase them. And she's popped so many. I just can't even tell you how many she has popped. But, so we bought her these big, they're like this big, gigantic, like volleyball size or bigger than volleyball size. Tennis balls. They're fuzzy on the outside and they look just like a tennis ball. And my daughter, actually, Heidi, found them and she bought them first, or she bought one of them. And Maggie just thought it was the bomb diggity. And so she would just love that thing and chase it and chew it. And she chewed a hole in it. And when she chewed a hole in it, she popped it. She chewed it down to the striation, you know, the rubber that was actually holding everything together, and then she chewed through that and popped it. So I got her a couple more, and I got her a yellow one and a green one. And didn't think anything of it. Well, the first one was yellow. And she just really loved that yellow thing. And she just thought the brand new yellow one was just the best. And she didn't like the green one as much. Isn't that so funny? I just thought that was so funny. But she thought that was cool. She liked the yellow one best. Anyway. All right, so here's our Pampered Pooch. And I only took the tabs off of the two foam squares I stuck on the top here so that I can put a picture up underneath there. And it'll slide in just peachy. Let me show you what I mean. So we will take, let's see, here's a 6x4. We're going to slide that up and underneath. there. And that will go just like that. We've got another that should be a 4x6, not a 6x4, but you know what I mean, right? That'll go there. We've got a 4x4 that'll go down here and slide underneath. So it'll be super cute right there. And another 4x4 that will go over here. And another 4x6 that'll go right here. You can see how it sticks off. Might be a little hard to see since I have a white background base, but the photo is meant to come off of the blue. And then up here on top, let's see, what size do they use up there? That is still a 6x4, and they've got it coming off into the half circle right here, just like that. Okay, so there we go. That's going to be my Ruffin It project recipe layout. Super cute. I really like it. Here's the sample that we had and the sketch, and there's my finished layout. Let me know what you think. I'm super jazzed at how that turned out. And I especially love this down here. I think it's super cute. It would have also been cute if we had just done red on underneath all of it, I think. But I kind of like the just doing a couple. Yeah. Super cute. I hope that you have fur babies that you can make this layout for. But even if you don't, this layout is super, super cute. And you could certainly use this even if you don't have a dog or a kitty cat that you could make a layout like this for your album. And you wouldn't need to use this particular punch. You could use something different. And it would be a really, really cute layout in your album. So I hope that you'll use it. Thanks so much for joining me. Until next time, I hope you have many more creative moments. Take care now.